Good morning, grade twos. I'm going to show you how to draw a python today. And we're going to start with a pencil, and then after that we're going to go on to working with our oil pastel. So I'm going to hold my book up here so that you can see from the screen. And we'll just start off by drawing the sort of slightly curved shape of the snake's head. And I'll try and press a little bit harder so that the pencil shines through. And we're going to go down and up and down and back to the tail. So that's going to be the top line of our snake. And then, as you know, the tail's quite thin, and then the snake gets fatter, so that part's got to be fatter, and then it can get a little bit thinner as it goes to his face. And we'll just do one of the slanty eyes. We can have the other slanty eye on the other side of the snake. And then we've got to draw some patterns, because as you know, pythons are kind of got mottled patterns on them. So we'll have some of these patterns, maybe some sort of linking to the inside line here, and then maybe some oval shapes. You can put some nice marks onto your snake. It goes all the way down to the tail. And then we're going to start with our colors. Now, when I look at the colors of some of the pythons, they're what we call quite earthy colors. They're very warm, and they look like the color of sand and earth. That's why it's earthy colors. And I'm going to make those little patches the lighter shade, and then I'm going to do the surrounding bits a much darker brown, but maybe even put a bit of black under the brown to make it really dark. In fact, in some of these, I might even put a little shape inside the shape so that it will make it more interesting. We'll show you just now. So I'm going to start off by coloring in all those little patches. Okay, little patches, but there I've got a little patch inside the patch. I'll leave that white for the moment. And then I'm going to carry on here more. All those lovely little patches I'm going to shade with this lighter earthy color. It's like a stone kind of color, stony beige color. If you don't have this color in your pastels, you just use a similar color, or if you might be using pencil crayons, that's also really fine. Just remember, whatever drawing media you use, to press firmly. You don't want to see the white shining through, so color in nicely, and obviously try and keep in the lines. Okay, and then behind my snake, it's going to be a much darker color, but I almost think that this dark brown is maybe not dark enough, so I could use that dark brown, and I will, but maybe underneath I'll just put a little bit of black just to make it an even darker color. But if you want, you don't have to do that. You can just go straight into the dark brown. Okay. All right, so let me show you. We're going to pick up the dark brown, and then I'm going to go really firmly over that black so that you can't see it, and that I've pressed nicely and firmly here, all the way down. Let me just put my glasses on because I'm going to have to look very carefully now and keep going. In fact, I'm going to put the book down, boys, and then it's easier just to press on the wood of my table and draw quicker. And I'm going to color in all the bits around those lovely patches of my python. Oh dear. So if you've made a little bump like me and gone out the line, that's okay. Remember, you can just make the snake a little bit wider there if you like. Okay, so that's going to take a bit of time coloring in all the brown parts of your python. And then also, boys, I've got these patches inside. So here I might also put a bit of brown there and a brown there, just to inside those other marks. All right, this is how our python's coming on, and I'm going to finish drawing his head now. Maybe the head can also have some patches on it, and maybe I'll make the eye black, pitch black. Okay, that. Remember, we said we're only going to draw the one eye because the other eye is on the other side of the face, and we can't really see that very clearly. So we're going to finish that. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to color in carefully because he's quite a big snake. And you're going to carry on shading away, going all the way down. And as it gets right to the tail, it gets quite thin. And you can also decide, after you've finished shading in your whole snake, you can decide if you want to do the background which you can still carry on with your pastels or your pencil crayons or whatever you have at home. Or if you've got a bit of watercolor paint, you might want to use some of that to make it look like the grass or what we call foliage, where the snake is slithering over. And then we'll look at that, doing that now. So there we go. We've now mostly finished the shading of our snake. And there he is. Okay, I can even take a bit of my white pencil crayon, white pastel if I want, and just put a little highlight if you like. But you've got to press quite firmly inside some of that lighter color if you want to make it just shine out a little bit more. Right, boys, I've now finished doing my python shape, and I'm going to do a little bit of watercolor paint in the background, and it doesn't matter if I go over my pastel work because the pastel should shine through. So in my little watercolor tray, I've got some different shades of green. It's quite a bright green, so maybe I'll also do some patches of mustards and browns, just see if it's sort of slithering over the foresty floor. Okay, and I can carry on doing a bit of that all over the place. And more of the lovely mustardy, earthy colour. So I'm just doing a mixture of colours, and as I say, you can use whatever colours you've got at home. And you can keep going with your pastels for the background. And this is watercolour paint, so obviously I use a lot of water and thin it down. And I'm working quite quickly, but you can definitely go a little bit more carefully. And then if you've got sort of a thicker, creamier, what we call acrylic paint, boys. So here's my snake at the moment, my python. But if you wanted to, and you've got a bit of a sponge, this is a huge sponge, you don't need such a big sponge. You can dip it into, I've got a little bit of creamy acrylic paint. This is like an earthy green. And you might want to just create a texture where I'm dabbing it just to make the background look like these sort of dead leaves or foliage all on over there. Okay, there we go, boys, and that is our python. Enjoy.